Well, a lot of people have been looking forward to this Friday night, and I promised everybody we were going to talk to Eric Starwalker, and we're both still alive and we're here. So, so the
Yes, we are.
so the world did,
We're not done yet, brother.
uh, and you're coming tonight from up there by Mount Shasta. I'm assuming there's a little snow on the mountain now. You got some,
Yeah, it's finally getting some decent snow, yeah.
yeah.
But it's been crazy warm. I've never seen anything like this before, where it's mid-December and it's still raining down here. Just global warming.
That's cutting into your ski
But
season. Anyway, just as a quick, people really want to know about Eric. Read the introductory comments and remarks I make in the YouTube video in the description. For some of you who've already known him, and many of you that are my friends, you've already had readings done with Eric, and so you know the vast resource of information that he has. And I listened to about six of your readings, and they're all different. It's
mhm, yeah.
like reading six different poets. It's like, yeah, it's not the same. It's not even the same energy flow. Different for each person.
Right.
So,
Yeah, each person I'm talking to has a different team, so the energy is going to be different. Yeah.
so tell us. Let's get down to basics because you've learned this. Tell us how you learned to do what you're doing, and then what you're doing, why it's different from regular astrology, Western astrology, or even Vedic astrology. You're kind of in a different niche. So, how'd you learn this, and how'd you get your name?
Well, my name was given to me by a Toltec shaman in 1980. I had connected with a group that was on the Toltec path described by Carlos Castaneda's books. And I had been so fascinated. In college, I'd read them all, and it's like I never imagined that I'd meet a Toltec shaman. And having some of the experiences that were described in Carlos Castaneda's books. So we, one of the main shamans in those books was Don Gennaro. It was Don Juan Matus and Don Gennaro, and we went out to visit Don Gennaro way out in the wilds of Arizona on the Lakota on the reservation there. And when I came back, Swiftier, my medicine guide, told me that Don Gennaro gave me the name of Starwalker, and that's it's not really a name. It's a description of the medicine I carry. And Starwalkers are in living contact with these celestial beings we call planets. They're living beings just as the Earth is, and we establish a living dialogue with them. In modern terms, it's called astrology, but it's a much deeper dive into the living opportunity these celestials offer human beings to advance their soul's growth. So we don't concentrate on the events. We concentrate on the nature of the opportunity to develop particular qualities of your soul through the events that unfold in your life. That's what makes us a little different. Most people think of astrology as a predictive mechanism that will describe your future as terms of what events you may have be unfolding for you that to look forward to, and how your soul then will manifest the events required to advance your soul's growth. But we don't focus on the events. We focus on the nature of the opportunity given by the events you choose to develop certain qualities of being within yourself. And what I've noticed is that the more advanced the soul, the more so their state of doing doesn't define them. Their doings in the world, it's their state of being. So we concentrate more so on this on your state of being rather than the events that may be unfolding to advance your soul's growth.
Yeah, it's a whole different tractor. I noticed on the readings that you've done from the people that I've watched or listened to. Uh, your focus seems to be on why they're here, why they have barriers or roadblocks that they're supposed to teach. What is it that they need to learn further? What energy do they carry that's supposed to share? So am I getting that right? Is that kind of the direction?
Yeah, yeah, and the beauty and gift of astrology is that it's all about cycles, and we can, as astrologers, then describe the opportunities when they peak, when the particular portals of opportunity open, and that's why I was so drawn and am still drawn and still learning more so about the medicine of the Starwalker with the work that I do. And after I was, I've been doing this for decades now, and at a certain point, I realized that someone was talking to me, and I realized that these beings are living, and also living beings who speak to me and speak to all of us beyond our conscious awareness. And I also realized that my team was getting involved with the information they had from their perspective. Every one of us has a particular team. We sometimes call them guides. From birth onward, some guides change, and some stay for the entire life that you live here. But they were showing me things about that person that I couldn't have possibly known, and I learned to trust that. And there's one other astrologer who kind of gives credit to that is Molly McCord. She has living contact with her own team, and she talks about what her team is showing her at the moment, and I'm in a similar vein as that. So there's more going on in, uh, in a session with me than just intellectually.
So, all right. So somebody comes to you. I'm assuming that there's a lot of directions you could go, but again, I listened to your talks, and even though the people ask in the conversation, they're trying to take you someplace, you seem to wind them into their path. Here's what you really need to hear. Here's what you really need to understand. So
Mm-hmm.
in some capacities, your reading is like a class, like you're teaching. Am I correct in that? It's
Yeah,
the reading
yeah.
process.
It's interesting you mentioned that. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned that because I remember decades ago when I read uh, the New Testament for the first time. It's like, and JC was the way he answered questions. It never seemed like he answered the question that was asked. Right? He was always asked. He was always asked. He was answering the question behind the question, the real question. And that's what really impressed me about him. And I've noticed that gurus and teachers that are really connected to the higher power, they have a tendency to do that. It doesn't seem like they're answering the question you asked, but they're actually answering the question behind the question. And then it gets to the real reason the question was asked in the first place. And I'm surprised sometimes at what my team shows me during a session. Just wow, I never thought of that. And but I take I've learned to trust it and go off the rails sometimes, and it seems to really hit home. So I just go with the flow in that way. Yeah,
I'm assuming that you feel things, know things, and say things, and if you stopped and analyze them, you probably wouldn't say it, but you don't filter it.
exactly.
You just
Right.
deliver it, right?
Yeah. And you know very well, brother, that we're just messengers. And when you do your work, you lay hands on someone, and some unexpected twist or turn or message comes through that you had never even conceived of, but you've learned to trust it and follow the direction of the spirit as it moves through you. And that's what I've learned to trust as a foundation for the medicine I carry and share with others. So I never really know what's going to happen during a reading. Just like we're talking here, it's like we always wind up in surprising ways, surprising corners that reveal things that neither one of us had thought of before we even sat down and started doing this interview. And I love that process of kind of like a magical mystery tour. It's like we're both actually learning and listening. We're speaking and listening at the same time. And one of the qualities I've noticed with those who are truly advanced on their path is the quality of their listening. It's they're really present with you, and you can really feel like they're hearing you. And that's one of the qualities that I really admire in you and others who are really doing the work.
Speaking of trust, we set this thing up days ago, and we were going to do this interview today, not at 10 in the morning, not at noon, not at 2 o'clock, not at 4 o'clock, 5:45, because the planets were lined
Yeah,
up. Explain why are we doing it at this particular time? Because we could have did it any day. Why this time?
yeah, exactly. And it's an interesting juncture of celestial portals, as many have been following the with great curiosity this comet 3I Atlas. Have you been following that at all?
Yeah, I was kind of
Yeah,
curious. People were,
and 3I and today 3I Atlas is has made its closest approach to Earth, and which also happens to be the same day as the new moon in Sagittarius, late degrees of Sagittarius, in alignment with the very center of our galaxy, the galactic center, setting a whole new frequency in motion, tone in motion for the next month. And interestingly enough, um, the next Avatar movie is being released in theaters today.
yeah,
Have you heard about that?
yeah,
Fire, Fire and Ash. It's being fielded to the public, opening that portal on the very day that 3I Atlas made its closest approach to Earth. And on top of that, I just found out that Spielberg is releasing a new movie in on June 12th of 2026 called Disclosure Day. But along with the showing of Avatar, the preview for that movie, Disclosure Day, will be showing before the movie. So and
all lighted
in
up.
shamanic in shamanic terms, we know this is a dream. So things that happen on particularly significant days, events that happen, are dreaming symbols of opportunities and potentials that could manifest because of the nature of this portal opening. So to me, Disclosure Day showing before Avatar on the day of 3I Atlas making its closest approach to Earth is giving me a heads up that that 2026 is all about meeting the extraordinary, the inconceivable being disclosed in ways that we can't imagine at this point, and really peaking in July and August of next year. So
It definitely changed.
that's going on today. That's going on today. The tone is being set, and that's why I felt that at 5:45, the exact time of the new moon, we would then have this energy available to us. Because until the actual portal is opened, which was at 5:45 today, the energy isn't available to really tune into fully. We can have conjectures about it, but now we're feeling it. So I don't know if you're feeling a shift, but when talking to you, I'm certainly feeling it now.
And you got the shadow Mount Shasta there with you tonight. So
Yes.
perfect place. All right, so let's talk about this coming year. I mean, without any
Okay.
prediction stuff and all that, but just basically, we got
Right.
the coming year. Uh, the United States. Let's look at the United States. What do you
Okay.
what do you see going on? Because I believe it was you that told me, or somebody told me that the star alignment during now through 2030 or sometime is basically the same kind of alignment that we saw during the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. Is that true? Are we kind of like the same star?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The This is all tied into the celestial Neptune entering a new 165-year cycle of individual and collective dreaming. And the last time Neptune actually began a new cycle, which we're now completing, was in 1861.
Civil War.
If you know your history, it was the beginning of the Civil War.
Yeah.
So the Civil War became a catalyst for not just the United States, but the entire world to set the tone of dreaming a more compassionate, loving, and all-inclusive world into being. That's what this underneath all of the conflict of the Civil War represented. There was that intention to free the slaves, which was an act of supreme compassion, and to include them, those we had cast aside as not worthy of love, into the circle, so that humanity at large could become a more compassionate, connected, loving family. And that cycle was set in motion, and then shortly afterward, it seemed to backtrack. But from that point onward, from the beginning of the Civil War onward, we can now assess in the last 165 years or so how far we have evolved as not just the United States, but the world at large, in making that initial intention of the Civil War a living reality. And in some respects we have, in other respects we've particularly kind of haven't succeeded in fulfilling the intention or promise of the Civil War in the last 165 years. So now we're at the verge of starting a whole new dreaming cycle, but this time with Saturn involved. On February 20th, Saturn is the tonal, the physical world. He's master of the 3D. Neptune is the gateway to the heavenly worlds. So when Saturn and Neptune combine, it builds a bridge between heaven and earth. And that portal will begin to open. It's already begun to open from the sun's perspective. It occurred on December 11th. But in the meantime, we, as a collective family, the human family, are calling in through the trickster of the spirit a level of suffering worldwide that will be the catalyst for a deeper level of compassion being called for, that brings the entire human race together. Because in the long run, Neptune is about the miraculous. And I've coined the year 2026 as the realm of the miraculous, the miracle zone. We're entering the miracle zone. And as you know, and have felt and have experienced, the intervention of higher states of being, higher orders of being in your own life that were unimaginable before they actually showed up, like the Red Sea party, and have now stepped into a way of being where the miraculous is just part of your life. You watch how miracles unfold and follow the inner direction without knowing where it's taking you. You're comfortable in the unknown. The unknown is your friend. It's actually your ally. So the known is what most human beings are looking for, to create a sense of security, to anticipate what might unfold so they can prepare themselves for it. And yet, what's beginning to unfold for the United States and the world at large is the unknown will become more and more present. And what we're experiencing now is chaos. It's a chaotic kind of world. We're never knowing where the next shoe will drop.
But
So in a way, the spirit is offering the opportunity to become more comfortable with the unknown. Go
okay,
ahead.
I'm going back to the Revolutionary War and the Civil War.
Right.
It's total
Mm-hmm.
chaos at the beginning of both of those. It was not a
Right.
sure thing that we were going to beat England, and it wasn't sure what we were going to have after that, and it took time to
Mm-hmm.
evolve. Civil War, it started off, and nobody had any idea how it was going to end, and
Right.
we had, but both situations we had to rebuild. It was tear down the old and build something new.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Would you say that's kind of what's starting to happen in 26? Are we actually in the process of the chaos of tearing things down to rebuild something better? Is that possible?
Yeah. Um, at
Or
the very end of a cycle, we become very aware of what's no longer working. So you can say that's tearing things down, but it's just saying, man, this does not work any longer. We've got to recreate or reinvent the world. And particularly for the United States, with its 248 years Pluto return, we as astrologers were anticipating a complete deconstruction of the identity of the United States right about now. And we had no idea who would show up to help us with that. So we have the trickster Donald Trump, creating chaos, and and what followed the Declaration of Independence was about a 20-year period of the of dreaming the entire United States government into being. To write the Constitution, to create the Supreme Court, the legislature, the bicameral government, or all the structures, the bureaucracies, the presidency of the United States were all uh, created with Pluto in Aquarius, not Pluto in Capricorn. And Pluto's in Aquarius currently until 2044. So wherever Pluto is, we first experience what not to do, what needs to be torn down. It's like this house is full of termites, man. We got to just take this thing down. We can't just rebuild that wall over there or that room. The whole house needs to be completely fumigated and rebuilt. And in a messy way, that's what's occurring right now. It's like the overburdened bureaucracies of the United States of America being gutted and completely rearranged. The outcome can't be known because when Pluto is involved, uh, the surprising outcome is that something brand new and inconceivable is rebuilt in its place. So every day we watch the news, it says, "Wait a minute, that was impossible. How could he get away with that?" And it's like, but the reinvention of the United States of America and the world at large requires that kind of unexpected twist and turn. So when we're talking about this, for most people, it leaves them feeling a little wobbly and insecure, unsafe. But this is the way the unknown intrudes into our reality and becomes a shamanic adventure. Because on the shaman's path, the unknown is completely unpredictable. And yet there's a higher power guiding it all that just asks of you to be present for the process of the unfolding events. So once Saturn and Neptune conjunct in February 20th, and then they will both be in Aries, which is the very beginning of the zodiac. It sets a whole new cycle in motion, but also astrologically, a whole new astrological cycle in motion, where Neptune then sets a whole new 165-year cycle of dreaming into motion. And Neptune's currently still in Pisces and will enter Aries January 26th of this coming year. So we're still in the in-between. We're still kind of disoriented and not sure where to land. It's like a dreaming time, a visioning time, a period of the opportunity of this period is to catch the vision, to go vertical, to make contact with the higher power, particularly through your dreams. to feel the presence of a higher order or state of being involved in your life and the greater destiny of not just the United States, but the world at large. And when you have that, what I call faith, faith is the experience of that higher power, directing the greater, with great purpose, clarity, and loving intention, this new world, bringing it into being, then you have this confidence that all you need to do each day is wake up and listen and be available to the opportunities given to you. Be an agent of the divine in this world. And I feel like you're living your life that way. And many of us, and many people in desperation, when nothing's working, when they have no idea where to go, what happens? Don't they drop to their knees and start praying really hard? Like, wow, help. And lots of people are in that state right now. They have no idea what's going on, where to put their income, where their sense of security or safety lies. And this is the teaching involved with becoming comfortable in the unknown that perfects your faith, that by really being aware of the nature of the opportunity and following inner guidance, the direction of the spirit in your life, that the way through will be revealed to you. And you will have the confidence that you're not alone in this world.
And this
So
is,
you live your life that way, don't you, Rev?
yeah, this is not just America, Canada. This is worldwide, like what's happening in
Yeah.
Israel and Russia and Ukraine and China.
Hmm.
We seem to be
Yeah.
reshuffling the deck or something going on here. I mean,
Yeah.
even the world
Hmm.
leadership power is changing.
Yeah. And the goal is to open the hearts of humanity with a depth of love that brings them together. Because we pray for world peace. We're concerned about a war breaking out over here, or the outcome in Russia, or with Ukraine, Israel, other places. We unimaginable suffering that moves our hearts to act from compassion, to find a way to reinvent the world in such a way that we recognize the beauty and gift of not just ourselves to one another, but all of humanity as a human family. And the bigger the catastrophe or cataclysm, the more so it moves not just the heart of those directly involved, but the heart of all of humanity. And that's the goal, to open the heart of humanity. And now we're imagining that there are others who are not of this world, who may inhabit other places in our galaxy universe, that might be involved as well in this awakening. And the kind of miracle that many human beings are looking for. That's why there's so much interest in Three Eye Atlas. Apparently, there was a hope or expectation that it might flip some kind of cosmic switch. That was like, gee, so shocking that all of humanity would say, whoa, we're all in this together now. And that would be the catalyst to bring us home to one another. So we tend to look outward for some kind of savior. You were talking about in this interview you did with that brother who does the naughty palm leaf readings, about the appearance of the rishis, or the others who are of a higher order state of consciousness, showing themselves to be catalysts to bring us together, to deepen our awareness of how we belong to one another. So we tend to look outside for that, rather than knowing that each one of us has a personal and direct capacity to go to the source itself and have our own hearts opened through direct contact with the source itself. So we become like lighthouses in the storm, an individual point of light that expresses that love in the world in a perfectly unique way that only you or I can express from the experiences that we've had and the way they've unfolded in our lives. So rather than uh, the answer coming from the outside. It's coming from within. And you're realizing and claiming the great gift that you carry to others that only you can bring to the circle.
What I'm noticing in my personal contacts is there's high level, high energy, high frequency people, to put it in
Mm-hmm.
some sense, that
Yeah.
are falling into my circle, and all the circles seem to be falling into each other. In other words, you and I and Dr. Q and all these people we know, the world's shrinking. It's like people that are involved
Mm-hmm.
in things are all, it's like a web. And
Yeah.
it's like we're here at the right time. Maybe that's what it's about. Maybe we're all carrying a piece of the message, because I think
Right.
everybody's got a piece. Nobody's got the only message.
Yeah. And the gifts we carry are now being called for and perfected through the unfolding experiences through the end of February, but particularly through to the spring equinox. Because much of what's going on right now is out of body in the higher dimensions, usually beyond our conscious awareness. We all sense something's going on, but we can't quite put a finger on it. It's because we are being contacted, the higher dimensional aspects of ourselves, the oversoul, is being prepared for the manifestation of a whole new way of being, beginning to show itself, particularly from the spring equinox onward, when it begins to land in this world. And there's the key date, if you want it, an event horizon is April 9th, when Mars enters Aries, because the Saturn-Neptune conjunction occurs at 0 degrees of Aries. And Aries is ruled by Mars, so the Saturn-Neptune conjunction is looking to Mars as their guide. So wherever Mars is now, it's like be like super Mars for the next 35 years to bring the greater vision, that greater unconditional love, that love that's pouring out from the source into manifest reality in this world, into actionable ways in which we can make that happen as a living reality. And that's like the bodhisattva level of involvement with the world. So right now we're saying, okay, well, what do we do about it? How do we work with it? How's it going to manifest or show itself in my life? Which can't be known at this point because it's still being prepared upstairs. Many in the occult especially know that what occurs in this world is actually dreamed into being in the high astral, beyond our conscious awareness. And then it begins to solidify in the astral and then manifest in this world, and sometimes quite miraculously and unexpectedly. So where does that leave us on a personal level right now? It leaves us, individually and collectively in kind of a test of faith where we know we're being directed, but we don't see the individual way in which that can be confirmed or validated in our lives. But there's a faith that faith is the capacity to just surrender to this greater purpose unfolding in ways we can't understand at the moment, and to really just put your whole entire being in a surrendered state into this greater intelligence guiding you and showing you how you can prepare and participate in this unfolding miracle each day of your life and perfect your quality of listening. So how are you feeling that kind of like in between state right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling
Like
so.
we're in between worlds?
Yeah, we're kind of
Yeah.
like, of course, you're so much younger than I am, but I'm feeling the end seems to be closer than it's ever been, and I'm not going to see this stuff bear fruit. So my hope, and I think you're kind of doing the same thing, because you're working with people that are younger than both of us, and
Hmm.
and we're both teaching, giving, pushing these people forward. It's like the old guys that plant a fruit tree, and he's 90 years old. You plant a fruit tree, you're never going to
Right.
see fruit, right? I'm
Hmm.
kind of feeling that way with the people I'm working with, and I see that you're doing
Hmm.
with the people you're working with. It's like our time, we're not going to see this where it goes, but we're part of the birthing process. Our energy is needed.
We you know, I think you're aware of the indisputable fact that we just leave this world and we may actually be more involved than ever from the other side as guides and support for those who are still in this world. So it's just a matter of which room we want to play in.
Yeah,
It's
this
like we're not only going to see it, but we might be more involved in its unfolding than even now in this physical world. So we can't know that until we get over there. So I'm leaving that alone for now.
yeah, I'm just feeling that we've we've got to take these younger generations. I mean, the people born 1980 on up, maybe people in
Hmm.
2000s. The young people, this is the mess we're giving them,
Yeah.
and we haven't solved all their problems, and we have a job to do. I mean, we really,
Yeah.
you and I both, and I keep sending
Hmm.
people because I think they need some directions on their dharma and purpose. But I think both of
Hmm.
us have kind of figured it out. Um, and a part of me looks forward to the future, but I'm not going to be able to visually in the physical body see the fruits of my labor. And
Hmm.
or you, I think we're both on the short end of
Well, brother, you could also choose to just jump into another body here and just,
come back.
uh,
So
and
much fun
yeah,
here
just
now,
like,
right? It's so much
and
fun
you'll
here
be,
now.
and you'll be one of the young people again. It's like, okay, we just keep recycling.
There you go.
So, uh, it's natural when we feel uh, insecure. We're not sure where the world is headed, or the events of the world seem to be intensifying. To uh, the body soul, our living being we've married, this living being we've married until death do us part, he or she is very aware of the nature of her mortality, her fragility here. So your body soul's job is to predict the future, to make sure he's safe, to make sure he's prepared, he's not surprised by unfolding events. What I realized in 1986, 40 years ago, is sitting on my porch. Uh, at that point in my life, I was like smoking a cigarette and watching the snowfall here in Mount Shasta. And I was so sick of the spear in my back pushing me that I says, okay, I'm just going to sit in this chair until I know why I'm getting up. I'm just not going to move. And I sat down in that chair. I grabbed the handles like really tightly, like Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree. Says, I'm going to sit here until I either get in line, light, you know. And I started noticing who's trying to get me out of this chair. And I realized it was my body. I said, whoa, wait a minute. He's conscious. He's got his awareness all of his own. He's the one trying to get me up out of this body, up out of this chair. So I finally got them separated and realized that in that moment that he's actually a living being, like my dog. And he's got his whole reality completely and tied to Mother Earth. He's from Mother Earth. He's born and he dies. He's tied into the time-bound world of this 3D dimension. And his entire being is about being safe, secure, and predicting the future. Because he knows that he stops breathing for a couple of minutes, he's gone. You know, So, but I got them separated and realized from that point onward, there are two people living in this house. I never realized that before. It is my immortal soul who lives in this timeless zone, and this mortal body of mine who's very determined to predict the future to make sure he's safe. So I says, okay, this dog is not running this house any longer. Because I realized at that moment too, he was like creating all of my major goals and desires in the world that I thought were my spirit's goals, but they weren't. They were his goals. So the reason I'm going into this is because during times when the future is unpredictable and is so chaotic, not just in our individual lives, but worldwide, the body soul goes into overdrive trying to predict the future, and yet it can't. So that's why it's even more imperative that we awaken to the reality of the fact that we are immortal souls and we can't die. It's impossible. We're dealing with the 3D world, the immortal world of our bodies. It's okay. It's beautiful. They're here designed to keep us here long enough to go through the challenging lessons our spirit has chosen to evolve our soul, which we wouldn't otherwise unless he was so determined to stick around. And that's his gift to us, but he's not who we are. So once I got the two separated, my life got a lot clearer, got a lot easier in a way, because I could always tell the dog, you're not running this house any longer, brother. Calm down, watch for miracles. And over time, miracles would happen that completely blew his mind and mine. And he says, oh, okay, we can live in this miraculous way, and I'm okay, I'm safe. But I had to really form this conscious living relationship to him that uh, was tested severely throughout my life in terms of not knowing where, uh, how to, how I was even going to survive at times, but determined to follow the direction of my spirit and the medicine I carry, regardless of the outcome. Because from that point onward, I knew I couldn't really die. And it's a liberation once you become aware of that your soul really is immortal. It's not just an idea, it becomes a lived experience. And that's what I call faith. And once you know that, then the physical dimension of your life becomes an expression of that greater love, which is your soul. And there's a certain quality of timelessness that you carry along with you. It's like you have the energy of a teenager flying all over the world, doing stuff that is impossible. It's like, and that's because you are so deeply connected to your immortal soul in a conscious way. Plus, your Kundalini is very active, which is also the fountain of youth. And so those two together then become like a way of being. And then the physical world can become a magical adventure that's unfolding, which will become very, very evident the second half of 2026, because the extraordinary will make it become ordinary. And turns of events that may be undeniably manifesting the presence of a higher order of being, a state of being to the human race that would completely at this point be inconceivable. And that's what I'm looking forward to, particularly the second half of this coming year. I know it was a long answer to your question, but hope I didn't lose you on that one.
No. It's yeah. I'm an eternal, no matter what. I'm an eternal optimist. I'm betting on positive. I'm betting on the spiritual revolution. I call it evolution instead of revolution. It's really an upward thing, and I keep talking to people because people are so, oh, World War III's coming, the end of the world's coming.
Right.
This, and
Yeah.
I'm going, no, change is coming. Change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we will survive as a species, as a world, as a
Mm-hmm.
planet. And I'm really believing. Well, you did my youngest grandson chart, and you see that there's some good positive young souls that are just ready to take this over. I'm feeling good.
Oh yeah,
I'm feeling
right.
I'm feeling good. We haven't solved the problems, but we got some people that are coming behind us that are going to
Yeah,
help in that process.
yeah, yeah. Every time I do the chart of a younger person, I get to time travel into the future. It's through their matrix, their energy that I begin to see the potential of what's coming in the future, which I couldn't have seen before unless I connected with their energy. And so it's always a great gift to do the charts of younger people. It's like, whoa, now I get to see a little bit more of the future, through their charts. And the possibility of the human race finally coming home to itself. The human race, through thousands of years of patriarchally dominant culture, has kind of made a mess of the world in our relationship to Mother Earth. And that's at the foundation of the question that all of us have, is that uh, the depth and level of reconstruction is so fundamental, not just to our country or individuals, but to the entire way civilization has created a matrix here on this planet that's just not sustainable. How can we possibly pull that one off, where all of civilization is rebuilt from its very foundation onward to create a sustainable future? And that's the big question that is hanging over the entire future of the human race. And that to me is when I just turn it over to the angels. So in my human capacity, my little grasshopper brain can't even imagine how that's possible. But I've watched the miraculous unfold in my own life and the world at large, and so many times that I know there are those, way above my pay grade that have that bigger picture in hand. And I can just let go of that and just ask what little part I can do to, you know, offer the opportunity for this greater, more evident love to manifest in the world that will bring the changes that we're all hoping for. It's love, the power of love itself is what is at the foundation of true awakening and transformation. And to me, when I meet a more awakened person than myself, they're just able to be more of an agent of that love than I am. And my heart begins to open around. It's like, whoa, I never imagined love at this level showing up in my world or the world at large. And one of the great gifts of being human and being in this world is exploring how love can manifest and express itself under the most difficult and challenging conditions. And when we witness that, it says, wow, I've never seen a love like that before. So it's almost like an act of heroism where human beings surprise us in small and large ways at a depth and quality of love we never even imagined was possible. And that to me is what's coming for, us individually and collectively. That will kind of like, whoa, now I understand how love was behind it all the entire time, the entire way. And we recognize love where we hadn't been able to witness, experience, or understand it before. And that's the beauty of life for me, coming down to this crazy world. It's like, wow, okay. Let's see if we can love our way through this one, brother.
And if you noticed, it's been pronounced for myself that since 2000, and in fact, every year, probably the last 5 years, the most changes. It's getting profoundly more. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a speed to the frequency. It's moving. Things are moving faster,
It's accelerating, yeah.
and I'm finding people are becoming more observant of their spiritual self,
Hmm.
even though statistically it shows churches around the world are less, it's failing and less people are religious. I think you'll find that more people are spiritual and they're
Yeah.
moving not necessarily
Hmm.
away from God, but towards an individualized perception of that love. And
Yeah.
so I'm I'm
You
probably
just described it. You just
yeah,
described the Saturn Neptune conjunction Aries.
yeah.
That's the new world religion. They keep calling it a new world religion. It's actually returning to yourself, authenticating yourself, and as a natural consequence, that old John Lennon song, "Imagine the world without any religions," uh, the world's religions will completely. It's like, wow, they haven't brought us to the place of direct contact with the higher power that we imagined they could. So a lot of disillusionment, which is very healthy, taking the illusion away, about spiritual paths and churches and religions in particular, is going to be just completely, they're just going to lose their power, because each one of us will realize that, okay, Baha'i was also, in 1861, I believe, declared a world religion. That was at the beginning of the last Neptune cycle, which honored the spokes of the wheel, being individual to the center. They were all equal to one another. And that Saturn Neptune portal opening for the next 165 years, especially for the next 2 or 3 years, will be us returning back to the foundation of our personal relationship to the divine, and realizing that every time we believed in a guru or a religion or a priest as an intercessor to the divine, it didn't quite take us home. So the whole new religion is coming back home to ourselves, our own personal path, our own authenticity, and realizing that we as individuals not only have the right to, but the capability of establishing direct contact with higher order states of being and the source itself. And that's the new religion that's coming in. And that was exactly what you just said. That we no longer need an outside agency to introduce us. We can go direct.
But when I was
And that's
given a message 20,
mm-hmm,
30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, I wasn't getting the reception that I'm getting now. I go around the world, I'm thinking, I'm going to have everybody attacking what I'm saying. They're not going to understand this. And that has not been the case. Uh,
mm-hmm,
it's people are open. It's like when I was in Prague and they go, this is the wrong audience for you. You know, I was doing this program live in a theater. And I said, what do you mean? They said, well, we're the most atheist country in the world. I go, what do you, 80% of the people in the Czech Republic, atheists. And they said,
wow, really? I didn't know that. Huh.
yeah, according to the United Nations, it's the most atheist country in the world. And I'm going,
I thought Russia was, but
no, no, it was, yeah, the Czech
really?
Republic.
Huh.
So I'm thinking, there's a part of me just, so I get up on stage and I ask this sold out crowd, this theater's full, on an empty seat. And I go, how many of you believe in love? Every hand goes up. And
There
I
you go.
said, then I said, we're all on the same page. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Love, not religion,
Yes,
love.
right.
Now,
Mm-hmm,
if you belong to a church or you belong to religion, for the community and fellowship, family, and for traditions, it's a beautiful thing. You know, honor it.
mm-hmm,
But
right.
there's many individual paths to that same place, you know, the
Mm-hmm,
center of love. And I've found that just because people declared themselves as atheists or non-believers, they're basically just saying they're not into organized religion. They're searching. They're not at, they're
right.
not running from the idea of a source. You know, they may not call it creator, they may not call it Jesus, they may not call it Buddha, whatever,
Right.
but they know there is a greater power and they're plugged into it because they are a part of that
Right.
power. It's all them. It's all us.
Hmm.
So that's I think the new direction is learning that we're all one.
Hmm.
That's been a hard
Yeah.
lesson for the earth, for us
Yeah.
people living on the earth. What do you mean we're all one? No, we're all one. Everything is it's all the divine source, one consciousness. There you go.
Yeah. And it's love's nature not only to offer the opportunity to believe that, but to experience it. When belief goes beyond, when we go beyond belief into direct experience, it's not, we don't need to believe it any longer. We know it's true. So
And,
it becomes inner knowing, that we in fact are connected because that's love's nature. Yeah. You
and
feel it connected.
we're
Yeah.
reaching a point where people are all right if you don't believe they will. It doesn't appear to be that when you watch the news. Whatever group you are, you want everybody to be the same thinking as you, and they're not. They're different. There's also this group of people saying, "Whatever you believe, it's okay with me." You know,
Right.
there's
Hmm.
room for you to believe and accept anything you want. Just don't
Right.
just don't try to convert me. Don't try to take away what I got. We're getting there.
Right. Hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
Eric. We're at this point. We're going to kind of wind it on down, but I kind of want you to, if you got some words of advice, since you're so old, quote unquote. Um, what 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 do you think the message for us, the one consciousness, all of us, the world, uh, the seekers, and the people out there? What's our purpose? Why are we here? What do you think we need to do? Do we need to do anything?
Hmm.
Where are you at with that? What advice would you lay down for the people watching this?
Yeah. It's a wondrous, magical mystery tour that's unfolding every day. And the more we become comfortable with the unknown in expectation of miracles to show themselves in ways we at this moment can't imagine, the more we'll find that we're actually enjoying the process. We're actually enjoying the experience of being in the unknown and living life as a magical adventure. And for me, that is enough. I just get up every day and say, okay, what adventure is making itself known to me today where I can be more involved with spreading the love, sharing the love in small or large ways, being kind to myself and others. And that's good enough for me until I'm shown if if in fact there is a greater purpose for me to involve myself with others in a larger way. But just to be a personal witness to kindness in the world is an act of courage, especially now.
All right. If people want to get a hold of you, uh, I will have I'll have your Facebook address on this information I have on the bottom of this thing. But how do people normally get a hold of you?
It's through Facebook Messenger or email.
Okay, so I'll put your
And for those, if you vetted them, they you can give them my phone number and they can text me.
okay. People can contact me and I'll move it forward. Okay.
Beautiful.
And I will be seeing you. We're going to be renting people listening to this, they want to come. We're going to rent a house and do a spiritual event for a week or so in McLeod or Mount Shasta area.
Hmm.
That's coming up, and you will be there as a
Yes,
co-host and myself. And I look for anybody that wants to come. There'll be more information on that later. Blessings and peace to you.
beautiful. I'm looking forward to that, brother.
All right. God bless.
You're looking good, and we're not done yet. And I just love sharing heart to heart the uh, the gift of the gift that we've been given to share with others. Bless you.